Hello, everybody. Welcome to the big show. My name is Mickey, and this is Mickey in the Middle, the quintessential show about middle Americans, where all middle Americans are welcome. It doesn't matter where you've been, where you're going, where you're living, or what your range of income is, or anything else. You are welcome here to discuss the politics and the discussions of the day that are all across the country. The simple fact of the matter is that all of the people that are in the middle are stuck in this together. And I just want to let you know that I appreciate you being here, and you are just absolutely welcome here. It doesn't matter what your demographic is. It doesn't matter where you are in the country. We're the 60% in the middle that are trying to solve the world's problems. So, I'm nobody special, but my name is Mickey, and every single night we do what we call the Mickey in the Middle Olympics to see who can comment first. And today, that was Darla. So, hello, Darla. Thanks a lot for winning the gold medal today. That is spectacular. And then Carolyn, let's see. And then it's Carolyn with the silver medal, and then Susie with the bronze. That is awesome. It is a top trio of the ladies. That is awesome. And Nicole Laverne is also on, so she's going to be on chat tonight. She's not going to be joining us live, but I'm glad that she is out there watching. So hi, Nicole. I missed you already. So I hope you got everything done that you needed to get done today. I just wanted to say that I hope when you got your hair did, that your hair did is good. So with that, the girls, Carolyn says the girls are all in, and that is correct. The girls are all in. So congratulations to the lady for being the top three. That is totally awesome. So that's Darla, that's Carolyn, and that is Susie. That is awesome. So hey, and Mark Calcaterra. Hey, I would like to throw out there that we got a couple of very, very special people that are watching this right now. So I want to throw a big, huge shout out to Mark Calcaterra, who just became the commandant, whatever the heck, of the VFW in Tonyville. He was elected through the election process, and now he, for the next year, is going to be the commandant of the VFW in Tonyville. So congratulations, and a big, huge shout out to Mark. That is awesome. But I would also like to throw a big, huge shout out to Susie, because Susie is very active in the American Legion down here. They have 500 members of the American Legion. So congratulations to Susie as well. That is totally awesome. That I just cannot tell you how much I appreciate your service to your country and your service to the community and your continuing service to the community. I wish you guys all the luck while you're doing that. So the night's topic is defunding the police. Now, I've got all my notes on my phone, so I'm going to be looking at my phone. But here's what I want to start off with. We have got to do a better job electing our politicians, because our politicians are just so freaking clueless when it comes on. And right now, I'll give you a great example. All of the politicians that came up with the defund the police thing, what the hell did they think was going to happen? What in the world did they say? Hey, you know what? You know what we need more? You know what we need more of? Less policing. I mean, that's just on the face of it sounds absolutely ludicrous, because since the early 1900s, the crime rates in all of our cities, in all of our urban areas, in all of our neighborhoods has been going down, down, down. There's been less gun violence, there's been less raping, less pillaging, less everything. And then all of a sudden somebody comes up and goes, you know what would be a good idea if we got rid of that downward trend? And now they have come up with, the whole defund the police thing. Now, it always appears to me that they have money to fund all of these stupid projects. Like, what effect do lemmings being housed with gerbils and hamsters, how does that affect their happiness? That's ridiculous. Or, what are the effects of darkness on cattle? I mean, they come up with some of the stupidest stuff, and they always find ways to fund that. So I got a question. If people are having problems with the police, how come they don't throw more money to get them better training? How about if we fund more money? How about if we take more money and put it into effective policing policy? How about if we take more money and just give it to the police with specifically targeted objectives? Like, I don't know, how about communications in stressful environments? How about neighborhood policing the most heinous parts of the city through effective education and jobs programs? But no, what they want to do is they say, hey, let's take the money away from the police and put it towards psychologists and counselors. And so when they take the money away from the police, then they don't implement these new policing strategies. They're just dumber than dirt. Let's take the money away from the cops. Before we have anything else set up, just take money away from the cops. Now, I'm going to get into statistics. But the politicians that we elect, we're electing them because they're tall, or because they're good looking, or because they have some fancy ad things. And we're not looking into, hey, what kind of grades do these people make? What kind of training do these people have? Are they actually effective in getting shit done? Can they work well with others? I want people that are going to be my politicians to be people that will reasonably make compromises with people of other political parties and come together. And one of the things about the Senate, some people want to get rid of the Senate. They don't even know what the hell the Senate does. They don't even know what the function of the Senate is. It's one of the most ridiculous things that I've ever heard. So we have all of these political organizations, and people don't even know what the function of those are. Now, everybody knows the president of the United States is supposed to lead the country. And then the president of the United States have cabinet positions that do different functions, like finance and infrastructure and transportation and security and the Department of Defense. And so the president does that. In Congress, there's two parts of Congress. One is the House of Representatives, and that is every 750,000, approximately every 750,000 people in the United States have one representative. And in the state of Arkansas, we have about 3 million, we have a little more than 3 million people, so we get 4 Congress people. In California, they have a shit ton of people, so they get like 54, 55, or 56 people in the House of Representatives. Those people are representatives of the people, and that's what the House of Representatives does. In the Senate balances out not by population, but by taking care of the states that they represent. And every state has 2 of those. And the reason is because they're supposed to be the most deliberative body on the planet. But we send people up there that are just morons and just idiots that have political clout and have been taking money from these special interest groups, and they don't even pay attention to what the people want. And the crazy thing about that is people don't know what the Senate does. So they're like, well, we need to get rid of the Senate and they need to be representative of the people. Well, how about this? How about no? Because that stops a lot of stupid policies from going on, but it also doesn't protect the state. So the 2 senators are from each one of the states rather than by the people, so that they can have a different attitude towards that. And the same thing happens in all of the states. And the states keep electing stupid people as mayors and governors. And we need to be more careful who we send up there, because we're going to get more crap like the most important thing on the planet is global warming. We need to get rid of oil. Okay, let's get rid of oil. But we got to be smarter about the way you do it. You don't drive the price of oil up. You take the money that you would get from the oil that we're currently collecting, and you make the infrastructure first for electricity. or for solar or for wind power or for hydroelectric. But you just don't get rid of the oil before you're ready, because now that's what's causing inflation, because these stupid ass people have no idea what they're doing. And these people are all the same. They're like, just, oh, this is a good idea. Let's drive up the price of oil so that everybody will stop using cars. Well, how are we going to get around? Electric cars. There are not enough of them. Public transportation. You're going to come out here to Cabot, Arkansas and pick my ass up and take me to Little Rock? Oh, by the way, today I had to go to Little Rock. It was a 45-minute drive. I had to go get stabbed in this eye right here. See that? The doctor stabbed me right in the eye with a needle and injected 2 cc's. No, not 2 cc's, 2 mm's, 2, I don't know, whatever the heck it was, of medicine in my eye. So hopefully I don't go blind in the future. But do you think that public transportation was going to pick me up and transport me 45 miles over there and then transport me 45 minutes over there and 45 minutes back? Not a chance. What the hell, man? That is just totally stupid. So Darla said, I like this. How about paying police and teachers more? That's a novel idea. Get rid of some of these pet projects and go ahead and get rid of some of the stupid pet projects and pay them more, right? And then Nicole says that's frivolous, because here's what the thing is. She's talking about the stuff that I was talking about earlier being frivolous and all the crap that we need to get rid of. That's true. And then Mark says, why don't we place an emphasis on obeying the law instead? All right. That is a fantastic idea. And we need to take some of that money and we need to go into the cities where all of these problems are. And we need to go, hey, look here. How about if we teach everybody how to better obey the law or give them a greater opportunity to do that? So Mark says the politicians are catering to the criminals who will vote for them. Well, I don't know if there's enough criminals out there to actually get people elected, because I don't think that criminals vote in blocks unless they're in prison and somebody goes in and goes, hey, look here, we're not from the Democratic Party or anything like that, but we would like you to fill out these absentee ballots and we would like you to vote for whoever you want to, or we can fill out the ballots for you and we'll just take care of that, right? And then Darla says it's not a representative government anymore. You're right, because what the government is doing, these people are being bought off by billionaires and millionaires, by different industries. And Princeton did a study that showed with the more money that you give politicians, the more you're likely to get your projects implemented. It does not matter what the American people say, whether the legislation is good, whether the legislation is bad. Money and the voters have no correlation. Whether you support or do not support any upcoming law, it has a 30% chance of being implemented. 30%. That's all the people. Whether the people support it or the people don't support it, there's no correlation in the amount of support a law gets about its passage. It's just between 25 and 30% across the board. It's crazy. And then Mark says, then it would seem like politicians are now representing the criminals. In some cases, like in Los Angeles, George Gascon, who is in Los Angeles, and he is actively supporting criminals. You're right. It is true. All right. So let's talk about defunding the police real quick. I'm always responding to people on social media on stuff that I should just stay out of. But I want to give you a couple of the basic numbers that they talked about when we were talking about defund the police. I wrote a new report out. Defunding the police is bad. Apparently, the BLM movement had unintended consequences. Urban violence is skyrocketing. FBI says that since George Floyd, there has been a 32% increase in the deaths of Black Americans. Since George Floyd a couple of years ago, a 32% increase in the deaths of Black Americans. So the Black Lives Matter, it had the opposite effect of what they wanted to do. So the idea behind the whole George Floyd was if you get the police out of the communities, then less Black people would die. Now, I'm going to get to some statistics here in just a second, but the 32% increase was not in anybody in any way associated or not associated with the Black community being involved with this. The police did not cause the 32% increase. I'm going to tell you that right now. So we're going to get to that. In 2019, this is 19, 20, 21, 22. So 3 years ago, 7,500 Black on Black homicides occurred. So in 1990, 3 years ago, 7,500 Black on Black homicides occurred. In 2020, which was 1 year later, that number was up to 9,900, a 32% increase in homicides on Black crime. The Department of Justice says homicide is now the number one killer of young Black men. Through statistics, it is not car crashes. It is not falling off of ladders. It is not in accidental deaths. It is not in suicide. It is not in you running out into the woods and getting eaten by a panther or a lion or a tiger or a bear. It's nothing. The number one killer of young Black Americans in the United States of America is Black on Black crime. It is the highest killer of our youth in the inner cities. That is nuts. That is absolutely insanity. Because, like I said, the numbers were steadily, if you look at the crime statistics, the numbers were going down, 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 down. And then these stupid politicians got involved. And then the people started acting like, oh, the police are killing all the Black kids. That's not true. I will get to that. So I said, way to go, BLM. You collected $90 million and the kids in the street are paying for that. Stupid people literally believe that thousands and thousands of Black people were being killed by the police, which is not true. As a matter of fact, in 2019, 20 unarmed Black people were killed by the police. Approximately between 15 and 20 Black people were killed by the police in the year 2019. 20. Now, one is too many, but 20 is well short of thousands and thousands. So the police, although incidents did happen like Aubrey and George Floyd, and there were other things that were highlighted, the stupid politicians take that, they amplify it across all social media. They amplify that through every means necessary, including the media. And then the next thing you know, it's like, oh my gosh, the police are killing everybody. It's nuts. So what I said is that is not statistically correct. People are on to assuage their guilt they gave to Black Lives Matters, and companies did too. And the police were defunded. Nicole Goodkind, she's a reporter. Nicole Goodkind from Fortune magazine said at least 20 large U.S. cities have since reduced their police budget, and that total was $840 million in cuts. And over 25 cities canceled contracts with local police departments operating in schools. So that was Fortune magazine and Nicole Goodkind. They reduced police budgets in the United States by $840 million. That's almost a billion. A billion. That's a number with 12 zeros behind it. You could stack $1 bills to the moon and back with that money. That is absolutely insanity. That Black Lives Matter collected $90 million, and then the police departments during that same time were defunded by $840 million. What the hell did they think was going to happen? We have got to stop electing stupid people. We're in the middle of this. We're getting caught up. The people that are in urban environments, inside of cities, They're just getting slaughtered by this crime wave that's happening in there. And now you take the economic situation that we're in at 8.5%, 8.5% inflation rate. So now all of a sudden, what are the people that are living in these areas supposed to do? That's additional pressure, because when it costs you an extra $2,000-3,000 a month just to live, and nobody's making more money, because you got to pay that in higher food, you got to pay it in higher gas prices, you got to pay it in higher everything. Now all of a sudden that's going to make people want to go out and actually commit more crimes. When they commit more crimes, that bad things are going to happen. It's absolutely insanity what we're doing. So, and then Darla says, the plan for oil is like withdrawing from Afghanistan, cart before the horse. Oh yeah. So back to the conversation we were having about oil is this is what they did. They said, hey, look here, we're going to get rid of the pipelines. We're going to get rid of the drilling onshore and offshore. We're going to just make it as hard as possible for the oil companies in order to make money here. But what we're going to do is we're going to ask OPEC to continue to drill to provide us with oil. Venezuela, Iran, Russia, all of the people that are enemies of us, we are going to give them money to use the same amount of oil that we could have had the stupid government not made these stupid ass decisions, because we're not using less oil. And because we have got to import that oil, imported oil costs more. The United States is the number one oil producer in the United States. That makes our lives better because we're doing it right here and we can do it cheaper rather than having it drilled somewhere else, put on a boat, shipped on over, refined, and then distributed. But what that does is, because you take the oil out of the system, now all of a sudden economics get bad. When economics get bad, the crime goes up. When the crime goes up, more bad shit happens. When more bad shit happens, more people die. So there's a direct correlation between Black Lives Matter saying defund the police, all the stupid politicians saying defund the police, all of the people that were same people saying get rid of oil, which now cause economic hardship, which therefore exacerbates the problem. Yes, I use the word exacerbate and assuage. Look at my language right there. But you're right. That is absolutely the cart before the horse. Nicole, replying to Darla, said, unfortunately, lazy votes have made these people comfortable. You're right. We got to make them earn our vote, and we need to not let them in there. And I'm ready to get rid of all of them. You remember this little tidbit right here? This right here. Right there. See that? Operation535.com. This section is brought to you by Operation535.com. Vote everybody in Congress out. Just don't vote for anybody that's currently in Congress. Vote for anybody else, but anybody that's up there. If we get rid of 470 politicians this year, we can change the course of the United States of America. Yay. There we go. All right, back to the chat. So, and then Mark says, laws seem to be passed only if there's money in it for the politician. Yes, sir. Look at Jen Psaki. She just got a contract with NBC, CNBC, one of those political left-leaning TV shows. Yeah. So Eric Jackson, hey, how you doing? And he said, yeah, imagine that. So that's good. BLM did exactly what the Marxists wanted, mayhem and the destability of the community. Matter of fact, Darla, that is so good, I'm going to actually put it up on the screen. BLM did exactly what the Marxists wanted, mayhem and the destabilization of the community. That is true. And I'm telling you. Oh, and then Nicole, yeah, there are bad employees in every field, in every profession, including the politicians, and we got to do a better job of getting them right. And then Jackie, welcome to the show. Says black on black crime has been this way for years, lived in LA for years. That's all that we saw. And here's what the crazy thing is. That is true. Jackie, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that comment, because the crime in some of these neighborhoods a few years ago was descending. And then all of a sudden, you got a whole bunch of politicians that said, hey, you know what? We need to get rid of bail. We need to do not we need to have sentences that do not include special circumstances like being a gang member, using a gun, having burglary attached to murder, which is attached to what do you call it, assault? Here's what the thing is: the lawmakers make the law for a reason, and those laws have not been touched. So we still have laws on the book for murder. We have laws on the book for assault and for rape and for pillaging and for plundering. But the politicians aren't doing anything about the criminals that are getting off because the district attorneys throughout the United States are being dickheads and not prosecuting the next because they're trying to empty out the prisons. Oh, those people were put in there because they're good people that got a bad circumstance. Well, there are just some bad people in the world. I'm telling you right now, there are bad people in the world, and they need to go to prison. They need to stay in prison. Some of them need to be put to death. Although I do not personally believe in the death penalty, I understand why other people want it. By the way, when I say I don't believe in the death penalty, except in very, very unique circumstances, because I think that God settles all this stuff out. And I'm not saying that we don't need to sentence these people to a life of misery for their crimes, because I do believe that prison is going to be a life of misery. But I just don't personally believe, because of my belief in God. I think that if God wants somebody, God's going to take somebody. And when God gets up there, God is going to be the judge. The most I want to do is I want to put people in prison for life and mean it, and just go, sorry, man, you have been proven unreliable, and you got to go. But I don't mind the death penalty, because in the United States of America, in many, many places, the people have voted for that. I would vote against the death penalty, but I understand why we have it, and I'm not going to go out there and oppose it, simply because the simple fact of the matter is we are in a country that is a republic, and the people have voted. And that's why we don't have a democracy, because it's not 51 wins all the time. That's why you have the Senate, in order to go, hey, look here, man, this isn't about the number of people. And that's also why the Senate has the filibuster and has the rule of 60%, that 60% of people in the Senate have to agree before legislation moves forward. So, and then chain gangs are the answer. Darla Stewart, I love that attitude. You're right. Chain gangs are the answer. Don't let anybody be on a chain gang. There you go. So, listen, I always try to offer solutions. Here's what the thing is. Our politicians need to stop wasting money. They need to refund the police, and then they need to find out education programs, not only for the police, but also for the community members in which they serve, and get everybody on board and say, listen to me. This is an education program in order to reduce crime. We need to work on police and civilian relations, and we need to make sure that crime is going down in these neighborhoods. And if it includes sending people to jail for a long period of time, we need to be able to do that. We just have to commit to that. You want to know why? Because it's worked for years and it makes sense. Now, low-level petty theft needs to be punished somehow. Maybe somebody only goes to jail for 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, 75 days, 90 days, 105 days, right? Every time that they do something, you add 15 days or 30 days to the sentence. Hey, look here. You robbed me once. That's awesome. That's 6 months. And every time after that, we're going to add 3 months to your sentence. So you do 6 months, then you do 9 months, then you do 12 months, then you do 15 months. And by the time they get done, they're probably going to figure out that they should stop stealing shit. That's just my solution. And every single time that they're in there, everybody needs to get in their head. They need to go, hey, look here, man. You need to not be a gang member. You need to not do this. And then I go back to my idea about adopt a mother, a brother, a sister, or a dad, which is get our churches to take some of these people and adopt them and get them out of that environment and get them in a good church environment and let the church sponsor them. So I'm still waiting for somebody to pick up on that idea. As soon as I make my first couple of million, then I'll go ahead and start that project. But right now, I'm working on another project. So maybe make going to prison a little bit more uncomfortable. Cable TV. All right. So my father was a prison warden. My father was a prison warden. And the problem with prison and people being incarcerated, this is for Darla because Darla put this up there. Maybe making going to prison a bit more uncomfortable, cable TV, etc. Right? So what happens is if you don't give prisoners something to do, they will find something to do, like kill guards, kill each other, beat each other with pipes or fists, try to escape. They people that don't have anything to do have this imagination that absolutely runs wild. So they try to make life uncomfortable because they're incarcerated, but they try not to make it too uncomfortable that they are desperate and don't care and kill each other. And I got that from my father-in-law, who was in the federal prison system, warden. He was a warden in the federal prison system for 30 years. Might have been 40 years. I don't know. He was there for a really, really long time. Now he's retired. So if you're watching, Dave, hey, just want to give you a shout out. So thank you very much for your service, because the people that work in the prisons are also under a great deal of stress. So without further ado, I'm going to say goodnight. So thank you very much for tuning in to Mickey in the Middle. Cannot tell you how much I appreciate all of your comments, your interaction. It makes the show a little bit better. Not a little bit better, a great big better. Just want to say thank you for your comments. Thank you for your time and attention. Remember to like, share, hit the notification bell. Remember, it's 9 p.m. Central, Monday through Friday. Mickey, sometimes with Nickey, right here wherever we are, right there wherever you are. You guys have a fantastic night. I absolutely love you. Do me a favor and tell everybody about the show. I appreciate it. And without further ado, good night, small one. I love you. See ya. Wait a minute. Is that the video clip? There it is.